Hello everyone, my name is Abhishek and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we will learn how to get your application from your local machine to the customer ready state in absolutely no time. We will use Heroku, which is a cloud application platform offering platform as a service. Heroku is also our sponsors for today's video, so I should thank them for believing in our content and supporting us. Going back, what are we going to actually learn? So we will start with learning what is Heroku, how to use it, and how to get our application to the customer ready state in under 10 minutes. Imagine this scenario. You are working for a startup and you have developed the application for the startup. It is working perfectly fine on your local machine. However, you cannot ship the application from your local machine to the customers. To ship the application, you need to first build it, then you need to deploy the application onto a cloud platform so that it's accessible. You also need to ensure the application is highly scalable and the application is super secure. Only then you can ship the application to the customers. To be honest, building the application, deploying it, scaling it, and securing it is actually more effort compared to developing the application. What if I tell you there is someone who can do it on your behalf? That is Heroku. So we will use a .NET application in today's demonstration, and I will show you how to onboard this .NET application onto the Heroku platform. This tutorial is going to be super interesting. You can also try it after watching the video. I will provide the GitHub link in the description. So let's get started. So as the first step, you need to create an account with Heroku. Because it's a cloud application platform, to access its PaaS offering, you would need this account. It's very simple. Just use the link in the description or pinned comment. It gets you to this landing page. Click on the sign up. Start providing basic details such as your first name, last name, email address, which you can use later to administrate this account. Provide the name of the company and country or the region that you are in. Create your account. At this point of time, Heroku sends you a verification email, and once you verify the information, it asks you to set up two-factor authentication for your account, basically to secure your account and also to set up payment information. Once you provide this information, you have your account set up. That's all. That's all what you need to do. To avoid adding payment information in the video, I have already created the account. So this is my account. Perfect. Now that we have the account, what are the next steps? You just need to perform two simple steps. Step one is to create a new app on the platform. That is, you need to create a Heroku app, and this app comes up with a hosted Git repository. Of course, this app can also be integrated with a GitHub repository, but we will use Heroku's hosted Git repository. In step 2, we will push the source code of our application. In this case, the source code of the .NET application onto the hosted Git repository. As soon as you do it, you will notice Heroku using build packs. So build packs are nothing but the scripts that Heroku supports. It supports hundreds of scripts using which it builds the application, it deploys the application, it also provides a publicly accessible URL for the application. Although we are using .NET application in the demonstration, you should note it supports various popular programming languages. And build packs are supported for all of these programming languages. So you can go back and try a Ruby application, PHP, Node.js, or any of your popular choices. Okay, so we are going to execute these two steps, but where is the source code for the .NET application? So I will be using a .NET Getting Started application, which is part of Heroku official GitHub organization. So this is the repository and this is the source code. If you look at the source code, it does not have any instructions on how to build the application because Heroku is doing all that for us. The only instruction that we will provide is this proc file. So this proc file is a prerequisite where the only instruction that we'll provide is how to run the application. That's it. Okay, so we have the source code as well. So let's see how to run the application. That is Heroku app. Obviously, you can do it through the user interface. Just go to the platform, click on create new app. And here you just need to provide a global unique name and select the region. Click on create app and you have the app created. However, because majority of our subscribers are either developers or DevOps engineers, we will see how to do that through the CLI. Because if we learn through the CLI, we can also automate this process in the future. Great. So how do we download and install CLI? Just search for Heroku CLI. Okay. Click on install CLI. It has the steps for macOS, Windows, also Linux. Because I'm on macOS, I'll just copy this command. I will go to the home directory and paste the brew command. Great, because I have already been using it for some time. It says it's already installed and up to date. Great, no worries. As the next step, we need to log in through the CLI. Why? If you just have CLI installed, it is not connected to your platform or your account, right? You cannot run any instructions on your account using the CLI. To do that, you should log in through the CLI and authenticate. Command for that is Heroku login. When you run this command, it asks you to enter a key. Let's say I press alphabet A. It opens a new tab on the default browser and it provides a pop-up login to the CLI. Just click on login and within few seconds, you will see a message you are successfully logged in. You will see the same message on the terminal as well. Great. We have installed the CLI. We have logged in through the CLI. So what are the next steps? We can go back and create the app. But before that, I would like to clone the source code because once we have the app, we will push the source code to the app. Okay, so how do we do that? These steps are completely provided on the demo application. Steps to clone the repository, steps to push the code to the app, and also step to create the app. You have everything on this repository. So if you scroll down, you will find the steps. Don't get confused with two different steps. One is deploy to Heroku Cedar and FIR. These are two different generations. So this is the legacy generation, but it's fully supported at this moment and we are going to use it in this video. This is the next gen platform where they have advantages on top of Cedar. If you want to learn more, you can go to this page, which explains pretty clear what are different generations and what is the difference between them. So Cedar is the legacy platform where it's currently supported. It has polyglot support, that is multiple programming languages. It has the capacity to run the application within a dyno. What is dyno? Dyno is nothing but app container. So you can run application in the app container, and it is also quite robust. When it comes to FIR, on top of what is supported in Cedar, it supports streamlined deployments where it uses a cloud native build packs to automate containerization process. It is also powered by Kubernetes, and it comes with integrated observability. So for our requirement where we just need to run one of application, the Cedar platform does that. Cool. So going back to the steps. First, clone the repository. What I'll do is I will create a directory and I'll just call it as .NET demo. I'll switch to the directory. And then run the git clone command. Great. Let's cd to .NET getting started. Let's verify ls-ltr. We will also check git remote. So remote should be set to origin with the URL of the repository, right? Heroku.NET getting started. Cool. But what we want to do is not have the source code on our local machine, but to push that to the hosted Git repository. So for that, we need to create the app. Now that we have the CLI, the command that we need to use is this: Heroku create --buildpack.net. So again, what is this buildpack? Buildpack is the script that tells Heroku how to build and deploy the application. So it supports hundreds of build packs. If you go to the user interface and if you look at the elements tab, you will find different build packs that it supports. Just click on all build packs. It supports for various programming languages and also different frameworks. You can see the support for apt. You can find the support for Google Chrome, Python, Datadog, Ruby, many of the popular frameworks as well as programming languages. Great. In our case, because we are using a .NET application, the build pack that we are suggesting to use is .NET. That's the only instruction that we are going to provide, right? Now, if I look at git remote, you will notice not only the app is created, right? Of course, the app is created when you run create command, protected temple, but the remote named Heroku along with origin is also set up to the protected temple app. So within the protected temple, a hosted Git repository is created, as I told you, and the remote is set to the repository. So now all that I have to do, if that remote was not set up, I need to identify the URL of the GitHub repository. It would have been somewhere in the settings, right? So what I need to do, if that was not set up by Heroku CLI, I just need to copy that. I need to run git remote add Heroku followed by this command. So this is also set up for me. Great. So what I'll do is I'll just run the git push command. Git push remote main. That is, we are pushing to this remote to the main branch from the main branch that we have in local. So it got pushed, and you can see as soon as it is pushed, it started building the application from the source. It is using this build pack which we provided, and within the build pack, right? I mean, using this build pack, it detected .NET as the application. It detected SDK version. It started installing the SDK. Great. It started downloading the dependencies. And great, it built the application. Also, it started deploying and publishing the application. Awesome. So it took the proc file. It learned how to run the application through what we provided in the proc file, that is here. So we have this command which tells how to run the app. It also executed it, right? Proc file declare type web, which is this. Great. So it deployed the application and it says application is live on this URL. Awesome. So I'll take a new tab. I'll run this to see if my application is live. Great. So the getting started .NET application. This one is just a web page with all the information, like whatever information is required for .NET. Getting started with .NET. Great. So the application is not only built, not only deployed, but it is also live. Now you can share this URL with anyone. Protected temple followed by random string followed by herokuapp.com. However, if you want, like instead of generating such a random URL or generating such a random app name, you can also provide a globally unique app name. Why it has to be globally unique? Because it is appended to herokuapp.com. So if you don't provide a unique name, somebody who is taking the same name, like both of you might get the same URL. That's why it has to be a unique URL. Great. Now let's go to the UI and explore more things. So now if we go to the app, let's just access the app few times to just verify it is live, and also, there are no issues with the application that is live. Great. It looks robust. I'll go back to the app, refresh. Let's see the resources section. So it says it is deployed on a basic dyno. So what is this dyno? Dyno is a app container. Heroku deploys the application within these dynos called as app containers. If you want, you can change the default dyno, but as you change the dyno type, it also comes with a different pricing. So if you want to go with standard, which comes with enhanced performance, or you can go with performance dyno, that is even for large scale performance oriented. However, if you want to run multiple applications and if you are looking for cost optimization, you should go for Echo Dynos. You need to subscribe for the Echo Dynos and it charge you around $5 per month. So if you have multiple applications, this is something that you are definitely looking for. And also if you're looking at cost optimization. Great. So this is about the resources section. Right now, we did not add any add-ons. And if we go to the deploy section, right, we used Heroku Git. However, we could have also used GitHub or any container registry. Metrics section, you might not see a lot of metrics at this point of time because nobody is using the application. There are hardly 2 hits that is, from my browser. However, you can get the events on the metrics tab. In case the application returns 502 or application returns 404, you can get all that information. Along with that, you can also get the memory usage. So you can see a spike in the memory usage because previously the application was down or it was not created. As soon as the application is live, it started consuming the memory from the dynos. Response time, same thing, you will find few metrics about it, throughput and also dyno load. Another important thing that I forgot to mention about Echo Dynos. So if you go for Echo Dynos, when you don't use the dynos, that is, let's say your application is in the stale state or nobody is accessing the application, you will not be costed during that time. Okay, so that was about metrics section. You can also see all the activities. You can provide access by adding more collaborators, and you can also configure settings, right? So if you want to add SSL, by default, it comes up with HTTPS, but let's say you want to add more security to it. What you can do is you can configure SSL. You can use automatic certificate management, or also you can use a manual certificate. You can also change the domain. Abhishek, when I want to share it with my customers, I can't use such a strange URL, or I don't want to use it with herokuapp.com. You can also add your own domain, and you can secure the domain. Probably, from where you procure the domain, you can also add more security to that. Great. So this is pretty much what you need to know to get started. In case you have any questions, you can let me know in the comment section. What I would recommend is not only try the .NET application, but also give a try with Java or any programming language of your choice. So create an account using the link in the description or pinned comment and get started. Thank you so much for watching today's video. See you all in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.